Mr. Morgan, I know we've been through all this before, but I'd like to review a few things. This is Special Agent Dietz and Special Agent Hayes. And this is your story, is it not?
Yes, it's my story. All but the last 6 chapters and the pages I specified.
And you titled it Bestseller.
Yes.
When did you begin writing the story, Mr. Morgan?
2 years ago, thereabouts.
Did you base Bestseller on any real people, Mr. Morgan?
Based it on a situation.
And can you explain the situation?
The situation was a literacy agent that shunned a wannabe writer. He stalked her at her last vacation spot, intending to kill her.
And did he? In your story?
No, she killed him.
Was this book based on an actual person, Mr. Morgan?
Yes. It was based loosely on Ann Harper of the Ann Harper Agency.
And why was that?
I knew that she vacationed at the small cottage in the Midwest. I started thinking of how that would be an idea for a story, a remote location, a stalker, someone that she knew who had a reason not to like her, someone unstable.
Someone whom she may have refused to sign with her agency?
Yes.
Your manuscripts were rejected by Miss Harper, were they not?
Yes, all of them.
So, you would have reason...
Guys, I've been through this. I told you, I had absolutely nothing to do with what's going on. You should know that by now.
You were forcibly removed from her office, correct?
That's correct. It was during a time of illness, a car accident a number of years ago that sparked a mental condition that got worse over time. Once it was discovered, I was treated with medication.
The killer in your story was based on an actual person?
No.
No one in particular?
No.
Not at all?
No, not at all.
Have you ever been to the cabin or the lake where Miss Harper vacations?
No. I went to Michigan late last summer and stayed at a cabin in Deep Lake in the Upper Peninsula. I wanted to get a feel for the land and the area where I wrote.
Did you ever have any conversations with Miss Harper about the book? Give her any details about what was written?
I haven't had any communication with Miss Harper since my arrest a couple of years ago. At least until her office called a few weeks back, that is.
You wrote this on a typewriter?
Yes.
One copy?
Yes, one copy.
And you claim it was stolen, is that correct?
Yes, by Mark Franklin.
How do you know it was him?
He's the only one who knew about it. Mark and I had become acquaintances over the past few years. When he came to town for a writers' conference last fall, I was telling him all about the story I just finished. Well, the first draft anyway. He seemed really interested and asked me if he could look at it. As I stated earlier, I only had one copy, but I told him if he wanted to read some of it, that would be fine. You know, I was actually looking forward to his opinion. He came over and read the first draft in an afternoon.
And you stole the final version?
3 months ago. I just finished it. I'd written a cover letter to Miss Harper, and he was going to take it over to Kinko's to get the manuscript copied later that day. I wanted to get Annie, Miss Harper, before she left for her vacation. I wanted mine to be the one that she read while she was away.
But you didn't get your manuscript to her.
I told you, it was stolen. When I came home, the manuscript was gone, along with my typewriter and a bunch of other things.
What other things?
Stereo, TVs, some clothes. I reported it all to the police.
At the time, did you know who broke into your home?
No, I had no idea. I just thought it was somebody stealing things to pawn it off.
And your manuscript was missing?
Yes, that's what I said in the police report too.
But these last 6 chapters here, you didn't write this?
No.
Not any of it?
Nope.
Where did you get the name Beth Houston?
From Mark.
That wasn't the original name for your character?
No, it was Alice Douglas. Mark thought the name sounded too bland, too out of date. He suggested the name Beth Houston, so when I rewrote the manuscript, I changed her name.
And what did you do with your first version?
Same thing I do with all of them. I burned it.
Think carefully, Mr. Morgan. Do you recall Mark Franklin ever talking about any stories he was writing? Any story at all?
No. He spoke mostly of books that he'd read. I supplied you with a list of the ones we discussed.
So you have no idea what happened to the last 6 chapters.
There are 8 missing, along with a number of other pages. And no, I don't know where they went.
You don't think somehow they may have found their way to the Ann Arbor agency?
No, I don't. It would have been impossible.
You burned the first draft personally?
Yes, in a barrel behind my apartment building.
In your original version, not these last 6 here, the woman, Beth Houston, kills the stalker?
Yes,
And how does she kill him?
a bottle opener. In my story, she killed the man with a compressed air wine bottle opener.